tunaonea huruma wale watu ambao wamekuwa conned jana. Tunaonea hao huruma kwa sababu hawa ni viongozi ambao tunawaheshimu. Ni viongozi ambao walidanganywa ati sisi hatutaki BBI, si hatutaki vyeo, tunataka kusaidia mama mboga, tunataka kusaidia mama sijui boda boda. Unapewa cheo ambaye haiko kwa katiba. Musalia Mudavadi unapewa cheo ambaye haiko ati 14 days after Ruto is elected. Who told him Ruto will be elected? At he is going to do an executive order to appoint Musalia Mudavadi. Really? And when we wanted to make that position constitutional through the BBI, Ruto said we don't need positions. We want to serve the common people. We want to help do services to the people. We are not interested in positions. So we want to, nataka kusema kwa kumalizia ya kwamba hii siasa ya conmanship, sijui inaitwa nini kwa Kiswahili? Joho unisaidie bana. Utapeli. Siasa ya utapeli lazima ikome. Kama wananchi wanataka BBI, wanataka vyeo, sema ukweli. Usitengeneze vyeo kwa dirisha, kwa mlango ya nyuma. When the history of political conmanship is written, Kenya Kwanza will go down as the architect of the biggest political con game in independent Kenya. Musalia, Wetangula, Kingi, and Mutua have been conned by Ruto. I want to repeat this. Musalia, Wetangula, Kingi, and Mutua have been conned by Ruto. These 4 men have been conned. They have been conned. They have been allocated positions Ruto said will not exist. They have taken places we were told belong to Mamambogas. Now Mamamboga has no space. Boda Boda has no space. Their positions have been taken by Musalia, Wetangula, Kingi, and Mutua. Our friends, Musalia, Wetangula, Kingi, Mutua, you are caught in the throes of an elaborate con game and a wash scheme. You are being taken to the cleaners. You won't survive. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. To tell Musalia and Wetangula to deliver 70% of Western to Ruto is to con them. Because you know they cannot deliver that. Imagine if Musalia and Wetangula get 69.9%, they will not get those positions. 69.9%. They have to hit 70%. Is that not a con game? These 2 men have been assigned quotas they won't meet. In any case, there is a very strong feeling among Kenyans that the presidency must this time round go to Western Kenya. We cannot have a presidency that is rotating between one community to another community. If Musalia was serious, he should have gone for the presidency or the deputy presidency, bare minimum. Now he's going for a con game that you must produce 70% of Western votes so that you can get a position. That is modern slavery. That is demeaning a leader of the status of Musalia Mudavadi. It is very demeaning. Even President Kenyatta said the presidency cannot be a game of 2 communities. To expect Musalia and Wetangula to deliver 70% of Western Kenya to Ruto is to tell them to prepare their own political graves. Ruto has buried them completely. To force Alfred Mutua, of all people, to deliver 35% of the Kamba votes to William Ruto is to ask him to be conned and taken to the cleaners. Because he cannot afford more than 10%. Ruto is to ask them to prepare. I mean, where does anyone expect on this earth? Where does anyone expect on this earth Governor Kingi to get and deliver 50% of the cost people if he cannot deliver even Kilifi to Ruto? Honestly. They're saying they want to share the port. How do you share the port? How? The port belongs to Kenyans. But they have allocated the port to PA as a party. How do you allocate the port of Mombasa to a party? Honestly.
You know,
what kind of nonsense is this?
We have an agenda that is clear. If you listen to our conversations, we're going to rethink and relook entirely on the policies that will be responsive to the economic demand of different regions. Now, mkisikiza vile sisi tunasema the way we'll handle the port, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. The port was functioning earlier. There were change policy issues that were not looked at critically, and we have said tutaangalia hizo vitu na zingine, lakini maneno ya kusema sijui
that you have allocated the port to a party, to PA, the port. So why don't they allocate also like Victoria to a party, or they allocate Mount Kenya tuwapati. How do you allocate the port of Kenya, the Kenya port here, Mombasa, Kilindini, tuwapati?
Si basi allocate hata airport.
The airport pia si wapatie ODM airport.
Chap iko karibu na nini?
Wapatie ODM airport basi tuchukue. How do you allocate the port tuwapati honestly? Is that not a con game? Anyway, any swali? Unajua inaonekana bana Wenga, wewe ulikuja kufanya press conference yako hapa, sio yetu. Sisi tumekuja kuongea na wewe juu ya hii maneno yamefanyika jana ya maajabu. Document yote ambayo ni ya coalition zinakuwa registered kwa political parties registrar. It is a public document. You can go and access it under Article 34, Article which one of access to information. So these documents are public. We deposited ours on 9th of April. It is there. Anybody can go and peruse it. Like the way theirs now has been. This scandal has happened yesterday. Because this document of Kenya Kwanza is the biggest scandal that has happened in Kenya. The biggest con game. So ours is not being fought over because it's not a scandal. This is a scandal.
Hata hiyo vile Junet ni route ndefu. Swali unafaa ujiulize wewe. You call yourself a leader. How then do you come out uambie watu ati niliweka sahihi kwa trust ambayo sijui ulisema nini? Kama si uzembe nini?
Ulikuwa kicha. Ulikuwa unapiga signature nini? Party leaders yote walisign your document, secretary general yote wamesign. How do you sign something that you don't know or you have not read? It's a con game. It's mtu ambaye hajui anafanya nini.
Ukweli wa watu umeanza kujitokeza. Ni wazi kwamba wale waliokuwa wakivaa fisi wakivaa ngozi ya kondoo wameivua ile ngozi sasa, na ni Wakenya kujionea. Mimi nilikuwa nataraji serikali ya William Ruto nione deputy president chairman of boda boda Busia, nione prime minister chairman of Mama Mboga from Kongoya Market, chair lady or chairperson from Kongoya Market, na hawa wengine, because they have been selling that narrative for the longest time, and this is what they have been using against us, because sisi we are realists. We say things as they are because we mean well for this country, and we want to say things that when the time comes we will stand the test of the time. So wao wameenda, lakini ukweli ni kwamba wamejionyesha. For example, hapa Kilifi ndugu zetu ambao wametoa shida ambazo zinafaa zitatuliwa na wakasema tumeenda UDA kwa sababu hizi. How do you resolve those issues when you're speaker? How? Wewe speaker utaleta shamba namna gani hapa? Au speaker utarudisha bandari namna gani? You know? Ama utafanya hizo ajira, utaandika watu through the Parliamentary Service Commission, watu watatu, lakini huwezi kutatua shida za watu wetu kwa kupitia positions za kibinafsi. So mimi nataka niwaambie hawa ndugu zetu, mumeona mnatembea na mtu lusu, mtu mfisadi, mtu mdhabdhabina, mtu hana ukweli, mtu baradhuli. Amueni, it's never too late for you. Just man up and say hapa huyu sipo pale tulivyofikiria, and come back. Now you're telling 50% of the cost to go to how?
You can fool some people sometime, but you cannot fool all the people all the time, Mr. Ruto. You can only fool some people for some time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time, Bana Ruto. Let us allow Ruto to fool Musalia, Wetangula, King and Mutua, among others. But let us tell Ruto he can't fool all of us. In any case, Kenyans agree with President Kenyatta that the presidency cannot and shall not be a preserve of two communities. We agree that with President Uhuru. The presidency cannot be the preserve of two communities. In Azimio, we have been clear from the start that Kenya needs a political and governance structure that accommodates all our communities, regions, and all their diversities. That is why we brought BBI. Now Ruto has opposed BBI vehemently for the last 5 years. Now today is creating the same position that BBI was advocating for Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. He's not ashamed of himself. He spoke at Bomas 1, at Bomas 2, like somebody who came from the moon, and told Kenyans that we don't need positions. Today he's dishing out the same positions to Musalia and other people. That tells you what kind of character we are dealing with. A hypocrite per standard. He is the man who said we don't need BBI, we don't need to create positions, we don't need. Now he's reinventing BBI through the back door. Why didn't he join the train of BBI if he thought that he needs this position so much like the way he's doing? That remains our stand. No code games is in. That is what Azimio is. In Azimio, we have a leader who has suffered for what is right and not what is convenient, because Ruto is doing what is convenient for him. When Kenyans wanted to have BBI, it was not convenient for him, he opposed. Now he needs it, it's convenient for him, he is reinventing BBI through the back door. Let us leave conmanship to Kenya Kwanza. Let us pity Ruto, conned victims, but let us stand with what is right. As Azimio, we are determined to end this politics of conmanship and of taking adult politicians to the cleaners.